All right, we're in that kind of mood today. So we're talking about a psychological thriller in today's Wednesday Reads. In the book Darling, a teenage girl clashes with her new stepmother with an unforgettable twist that promises to keep your eyes glued to the pages. And here, as always, to talk about that is book critic Gwen Reyes from freshfiction.com. We talked about this during the break. You've read a few books.
I've read a few books in my day, yes.
And I'm always curious, when we have these ones that have a twist, do you see it coming?
Not always. Like sometimes if it's not very well done, or if it's like one of those hokey, like, oh, it's gonna have this crazy twist, I'll spend the entire book trying to figure it out. This one I went in and it was like halfway, the beginning of it is really very much like setting it up as just a traditional domestic women's fiction sort of novel. Like nothing very special about it, where you've got a brand new stepmom who's coming in and trying to integrate herself into this world with her new stepdaughter. The two of them do not get along. And then times when they have to use each other, where they have to be like, well, dad needs to agree with us, so let's work together as a team instead of something else. But then about halfway through, it turns into this like crazy thriller where these two people who really don't have anything to do with should not have anything to do with each other are just destroying each other by the end.
And you didn't see the twist in this one.
I did not see the twist coming, and so I liked that. I appreciated that, because especially when you read so much thriller, and I love thrillers, I spend so much time trying to figure out who the bad guy is or what's going to happen. In this one, when the end came, I was like, oh. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And this is great because this book just was released in the UK last year, and this is her first novel ever, and it's her first one coming to America as well.
Sounds like a potential movie kind of plot too.
I think it definitely has, and it's very cinematic as you flip the pages. It's very short chapters, so you can kind of get through it really quickly, and it's very like Dan Brown in that way, where you're just turning the page. So I feel like it's really a good translation. If it does get optioned for a film, it would make a really good translation there.
We've got a lot of mixed families out there with stepmoms and stepdads. If you're one of them, does this one make you wiggle a little bit?
It makes you wiggle a little bit. Might give you some ideas if you're trying to get rid of anybody.
Well, we don't want that to happen.
So it's just fun. You know, instead of doing anything like that, just read the book. It's a good time.
Just remember, in the end, it's all fiction.
All fiction.
That's where freshfiction.com comes in. Gwen, thanks for being on with us today.